God's plan for Moses was amazing.
Long ago, in the land of Egypt, the Hebrew people lived as slaves beneath Pharaoh's rule. And Pharaoh became afraid of how greatly the Hebrew nation was growing. So he gave a terrible command. Every Hebrew baby boy was to be taken away, but one mother refused to give up her child. For 3 months she hid her baby in secret, and when she could hide him no longer, she placed him into a small basket upon the Nile River. Not knowing what would happen next, she trusted God with her son's future. As the basket drifted quietly among the reeds, someone unexpected came to the river, Pharaoh's own daughter. When she opened the basket, she discovered the crying baby inside, and instead of turning away, her heart was filled with compassion. Nearby, Moses' sister Miriam bravely stepped forward. She offered to find someone to care for the child, and in an amazing act of God's protection, Moses' own mother was chosen to raise him safely. The child, who had once been hidden in fear, was now being protected inside Pharaoh's own household. Moses grew up inside Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by the power and riches of Egypt. But even as a prince, he could not ignore the suffering of his own people. Every day, the Hebrew slaves worked beneath cruel overseers and endless labor, and deep inside, Moses began to feel torn between two worlds. One world offered comfort and power, the other was filled with pain, struggle, and his true identity. Sometimes in life, God begins shaping our future long before we understand his plan. One day, Moses saw an Egyptian overseer beating a Hebrew slave. Anger rose inside him, and in a moment that changed his life forever, Moses struck the Egyptian down. At first, he believed no one had seen what happened, but the truth quickly spread. Soon, Moses realized Pharaoh would seek to kill him. So Moses fled Egypt, leaving behind the palace, the riches, and the life he had always known. Sometimes our mistakes can leave us feeling lost. But even then, God's plan is not finished. Far from Egypt, Moses arrived in the land of Midian. Tired, alone, and uncertain of what came next, he rested beside a well in the desert. There he saw several shepherd women being mistreated and driven away. And once again, Moses chose to stand up for what was right. After helping the women and watering their sheep, Moses was welcomed into their home. Sometimes, even during the hardest seasons of life, God quietly leads us toward the people and places we need most. In Midian, Moses began a new life, far from Pharaoh's palace, and far from the troubles he had left behind. He became a shepherd. He married Zipporah. And for many years, life became quiet and peaceful. But back in Egypt, the Hebrew people still suffered beneath slavery and pain, and though Moses could not yet see it, God's plan for his life was still unfolding. Sometimes we think our story is over, when God is only preparing us for the next chapter.
Sometimes we don't understand where life is leading us, but God may already be preparing us for something greater. Moses felt lost and alone in the desert, But God still had an amazing plan for his life. Even when life feels uncertain, never forget that God sees your future.
See you next time for another Bible Time adventure.